So this video is going to show you one of my favorite ways to use Metaverse, and that is through branching. And so what I've done is I've just created a new experience here. I've just called it branching example. And so now I'm just going to kind of get started. So I want to choose some kind of character here. And since I'm going to base all my questions on the Great Gatsby, I'm just going to do a quick search to see if there's anything for Gatsby. And it looks like we have his nice smiling face there that I'm going to use for my character. So let's say that I want this to be some kind of like quiz or some kind of formative assessment while we're going through some background information for Gatsby. And so I kind of want to see where kids are and help them get some context. So let's say my first question here is, what decade does let me capitalize that, Great Gatsby take place? So that's my question, and I have a couple of options here. So if I wanted them to type out their answer, I could definitely do that. But since I already have some buttons here, I'm just going to make this a multiple choice question. And so for my first option, I'm going to say 1930s. For my next option, I'm going to say 1920s. For my next option, I'm going to say 1940s, and then as a throwaway option, I'm going to put 2020s. And so you can see that we've got the four options there. Now, you have some flexibility here about your buttons, so you can change your button style to look a little bit more like the ABCD kind of format, or you can make them a little unique with the circles, but I kind of like the 2x2 grid here, so I'm going to stick with that. So now I need them to, like the users of this experience, I need them to know if they got the question right. So I need to add a card here, and I'm going to make it a character scene, and I'm just going to say, that's correct. Move to the next question. And so that way they'll know that they got the question right, and they're able to go ahead and transition to a next question. So since the decade or the Great Gatsby took place in the 1920s, I'm going to select that button, select my transition icon over here, and make it linked to my correct slide location. Now, because we have an it's right character here, we also need an it's wrong character. So I'm going to go back, add another character scene. I'm just going to put this one underneath here so that I don't get things too mixed up. And so I'm going to put nope, try again. And so I'm not going to tell them or give them any hints or anything at this point, but you could if you wanted to. So I'm just going to have it say try again, and the button down here is going to say try again also. So I'm going to link the button back to the question so that they can try the question again. And I'm going to have every single other option linked to the nope, try again results. So I'm just going to go through here, click each button, and then click the transition button and the slide that I wanted to transition to. So here's our first question. Now, let's say that I want to ask a couple of questions here, and I want to make sure that they know certain things about context before we get started. So let's say that I want to add another character card, or I'm sorry, another question, but let's say this time I want them to type the answer. Okay, so moving ahead from this point, they're going to transition to the next scene. And I want that scene to be this one. So my button here can just say next question. And it needs to transition here. Okay, so my next question is, what is the last name of the author of The Great Gatsby? And so this one, I'm going to ask them to type out their answer. And so if I come over here, because I want to know whether or not they got it right or wrong, I'm going to come over here to add new. I'm going to click text over here on the side, scroll down a little bit, and I'm going to choose check text response. And this is going to allow me to see whether or not they got the question right. So I'm going to link my question to my check text response. And what I'm checking for here, so if I click here, I want to check for Fitzgerald. And obviously we would like students to capitalize the first letter of proper nouns, but in this case, I'm not going to check case sensitive, although you can, and it'll make sure that you capitalize what you're supposed to capitalize. So it's going to check that for me. Now, again, just like last time, we need a character scene saying that they got it right and a character scene saying that they got it wrong, so that students will know whether or not they can move forward. So here I'm going to say, nice job, old sport. That sounds like something Gatsby would say. And I'm going to say next question here. So let's say that maybe I have another question. So if I'm going to click back on the check text response, and if the response does contain the right answer, I'm going to have it transition to the correct answer seen. So you can see the line kind of connects here now. Now let's say that it doesn't. I'm going to add a new character scene or a scene here, but actually I think that if they don't know that, they need to go watch a video. So I'm going to say, like, you didn't get it right. Actually, I'm going to set that there for just a second. I'm going to have a character scene that says, you didn't get it right, so try to go watch this video and try it again. So let's see. Not quite. Watch this video if you need help, or try again. So that means that if students have an option, they need two buttons down here. So my first button is going to say watch video, or my second button is going to say try again. Okay, so my video needs to link to my video, or my video button needs to link to my video, and my try again button needs to lead back to the question. Okay, but see that we haven't connected this to anything first, and so we need to come back to this check response button. If it says that the response does not contain the correct answer, we're going to lead it right down here to this. Okay, so we've added a couple of questions at this point. We've had a multiple choice question with a right and wrong answer, pathways, and then we have had a short answer question or a type in response question with a couple of different branches and pathways here where you can add, hypothetically speaking, remediation type activities. Okay. I forgot to do this. I forgot to link this back to the question, because after they watch the question or watch the video, they're going to want to answer the question again. So again, I really like branching for this reason. And obviously you could keep going here, but branching gives you the ability to send kids on different paths or users on different paths based on their performance. So if they are answering every question correct and they can go through here and they can answer all these questions and get 100% on all of them, then that's great. If they can't, you can build in kind of other scenes or other parts of the experience that can help them. So you can build in links to different things, or you can build in videos, or you can build in, you can have a question at the beginning that asks something about, like, were you in class yesterday? And then based on their answer, yes or no, it takes them on a different path. Or you can ask students, like, what book are you reading right now? And you could take them on a different path based on that. So it's really neat the way that you can branch paths here. You can connect them back up later, but it's a pretty easy user face in terms of being able to branch